Hey guys, this is James from the On the Go podcast, letting you know the catches every Monday and every Friday on YouTube, Spotify, and on iHeart.
So I want to introduce a new segment in our Friday show, James. Introducing all kinds of segments this week. So I don't watch a lot of things anymore, but I do. I picked up reading manga, which is Japanese comic books. Still comic books, just different.
Just different.
And the book I'm gonna review today, and I want to do like maybe not every week, but every couple weeks, maybe I'll bring a book and I'll talk about it. I'll tell you about the story, and we'll kind of go from there. So the book I'm going to read or tell you about today is a Spider-Man manga. So what happened was Marvel's comic book sales haven't been doing so good, or even DC comic book sales haven't been doing so good, right? So what they've decided to do over the last few years is partner with these Japanese comic book artists, and they're creating Japanese mangas. We have Deadpool manga, we got Batman. I got a couple Superman volumes as well to read.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think there was like one about the Joker for Batman or whatever, but there's all kinds. Yeah. So, and the thing I like about manga more than comic books nowadays is mangas are one story, right? So comic books, as you know, it's
continuation.
As you read them, they're continuations, or like they go on for 700 issues, and then also too they have side stories with other books. Manga doesn't do that. If it's 12 volumes of a story, it's 12 volumes of a story. There's no tie-in books to go in with it. There might be sequel series, but there's very rarely where it's like, oh, you're reading one series, now you got to pick up another series to know what's going on here. None of that. It's straight streamlined story. That's kind of why I'm getting in the manga more,
Okay.
And I had bought the Spider-Man manga because I've been curious about it for like months. I've always seen it, and finally I picked it up one day.
Where'd you get it from?
Target, actually, of all places.
Oh, okay, that's odd.
So, I mean, it's also probably at your local bookstore that sell
like
if they sell manga.
Nobles?
Yeah, Barnes and Noble or Books a Million or wherever. But
yeah.
So I'm reading this book, and it's called Spider-Man Fake Red. And the whole premise is, it's not about Spider-Man. It's about this teenager who finds Spider-Man's suit. So remember back in the day where they had the Spider-Man No More storyline?
Oh, you're talking about we have the costume in the trash can?
Yeah, where he throws the costume away. Essentially, the best way to explain it is this picks up right after that.
Oh, so a kid finds the costume.
Yeah, a kid comes across it, and he's like, oh, hey, this is Spider-Man's. What the heck? And he takes it home or whatever, and he's like looking into it. Or he finds it as a costume, and I don't know, for whatever reason, he take it home. But he realizes it's Spider-Man's suit. I think 5 days go by, and there's like reports of Spider-Man hasn't been seen in like 5 or 6 days or whatever. So essentially this kid starts wearing the suit and starts trying to fight crime. But the thing, he's not a superhero. He's not a superhero. So it's every time he goes out and tries to do something, the next day he wakes up, his body is like all like bruised up and stuff.
Like Batman.
Yeah, essentially. And there's this girl he's got a crush on in school, and she finds out he's got the suit. Well, she thinks he's Spider-Man, right?
Oh, okay.
So naturally, he's like, well, yeah, of course I'm Spider-Man or whatever. And then I think Scorpion shows up. Or no, not Scorpion, Screwball. Have you heard of Screwball?
Never heard of him. That's one Spider-Man character I've never heard of.
She's like a newer Spider-Man villain, but basically she's like a streamer.
Oh, okay. She's well. Okay,
and she tries to do outrageous things. She fights Spider-Mans for views or whatever on Twitch, essentially. So Screwball shows up, and so she's threatening to bomb the city or whatever. And this kid's like, what? I guess I gotta go try to fight her or whatever. And, of course he's like, this is crazy. This is stupid. But, Spider-Man's not around. I gotta do something. He ends up actually being able to stop her. It's just him trying to be Spider-Man while Spider-Man's gone. And eventually Silk shows up, which, you know who Silk is, right?
Yeah, I definitely know who that is.
Okay, so Silk shows up because in this world, Silk's around. So Silk shows up and she's like, what are you doing with the suit? Essentially. And she goes, Spider-Man's been missing for a few days. I don't know where he's at, but you showed up with a suit. So what do you know? And obviously he doesn't know anything. And she's like, okay, well, we're going to keep in touch because I'm trying to find, Spider-Man. Turns out Spider-Man was kidnapped by Mysterio.
That's about right.
And Mysterio's got him down in the sewers because Mysterio also stole Venom from the Life Foundation.
That's about right.
And so he gives Peter the Venom symbiote because this is Peter's introduction to the Venom symbiote in this
okay.
book, right? Mysterio kidnaps Spider-Man, gives him the Venom symbiote, and there's like flashes to Peter in the sewer, and he's struggling with the Venom symbiote. Sometimes he's Venom, sometimes he's trying to fight it off.
It's like the animated series, just kind of fighting it off.
Yeah,
the usual.
And he's repeating, great power, great responsibility, that kind of stuff. Eventually, Silk finds her way into the sewers because Silk and Spider-Man have like this primordial connection because they were bitten by the same spider and all that kind of stuff. So she finds her way in the sewer, and lo and behold, there's Venom. She starts to fight Venom, and she's calling our main character, whose name is Yu. Yu is his name, and she sent him a text message that she was going down into the sewer. So he gets a text message, and he's like, oh, "Okay, cool. I gotta go help." Well, at this point, Venom's full of Venom, raging and fighting Silk, and he shows up and he's trying to fight off Venom and all this stuff. And there's like a scene where I think they're fighting near a church or something. Or really, he's running away from Venom. He's not fighting Venom. He's not he has no powers.
He has no powers.
He can barely web sling.
He'll die.
Yeah, he's fighting for his life. He's not fighting Venom. He's literally trying to.
I'm curious to see how he's web slinging.
Not even really web
Must
slinging.
have like a can in his arm or something.
No, I mean, it's got the web fluid.
Oh, it's got the web fluid in there.
It is Spider-Man's suit.
Well, you know why? Okay, because with some Spider-Mans, he doesn't have the web fluid.
Sometimes it's organic webs.
That's what I was thinking of. Because in Tobey Maguire, when he just had organic web.
Yeah. So no, this is it's in the suit, and there's the web fluid. But
okay.
Anyway, so he notices the church, right? So eventually he rings the bell to knock Venom's suit off, or mostly off, and he notices it's Peter, and he gives him the mask. He's like, "Hey, you're my hero," and all this cheesy comic booky stuff, right? So then Peter is able to take control of the suit, and then he emerges with the black suit. That's how he gets the black suit in this story.
Oh, okay.
So he shows up with the black suit, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for saving me, kid." Blah blah blah. And then Mysterio shows up, and Mysterio, super villain. You ruined my plans, and Mysterio does a quick monologue on his backstory.
Yeah, the usual monologue villain.
Yeah, he's a stuntman, and Mysterio backstory, right? And so now this kid and Spider-Man are fighting off Mysterio, who is basically causing all these illusions of the Sinister Six. So you get Rhino, you get Scorpion, you get Sandman, you get all these people. They're all fighting him and whatnot, and they save the day. That's the end of the story, Not to spoil too much, but obviously
they're going to save the
day. They win. I kind of explained it poorly, but I'm not good at explaining things.
That's fine.
However, it's a good story. And reading it, I was like, this is a great story. This would make a great movie. Because just the idea of this random teenager finding the suit and Spider-Man's gone, but someone's got to be Spider-Man. Someone's got to fight crime and save face or whatever. So he takes up the mantle, not even in a good way. He's not even really trying to be Spider-Man, right? At first he's kind of doing it because it's fun, but then he realizes like how dangerous it is, and you get all that. But then like he's stopping thuggers. He's stopping muggers and stuff at first, and that's kind of okay. But then Scorpion or Screwball or somebody shows up, and he's like, "Oh no, this is really terrifying." So just to see this dude struggle, trying to stay alive, fighting these people. Yeah,
I mean, I've seen that done before.
Yeah,
in movies. And different animated series,
right?
I think Batman. I think especially. I forgot what it was though. I forgot because as you were running down his story, I was like, I've seen this done before.
Yeah, right. It's not. Yeah, it's not entirely original.
It would have been nice to have that being adapted to like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's.
You're right.
Especially when he threw his spider.
You're right.
He threw it in the trash can, because in the movie, they had how they did it was Trash Man sees the mask and costume. Takes it to Jonah Jameson. Jonah Jameson hangs it up. Boom. Right. That was it.
Right.
So it would have been nice to have that little part thrown in there. Something like a little cool like that. Like Superman, even Superman did something similar to that.
Yeah.
When Superman had died from Doomsday.
Yeah.
All these different Supermans trying to take over.
Yeah.
They're trying to clean the world up. So yeah, I think they could have definitely done something like that in the movie.
You're right. I mean, I think they still could if they were smart enough. I think you could fit this into whatever they're doing currently with the Sonyverse, because the Venom, because the Venom they introduced in this doesn't have the symbol, right? He's
just got Venom.
He's a Venom symbiote first, right? He gets stolen from the Life Foundation. So I was like, okay, cool. Like you can end the third Venom off with it, like maybe some company comes in and takes it off of Tom Hardy, right? That's how the third movie ends. Then you begin this one with this kid, you got to incorporate Madam Web, right? Because this is all connected. So you incorporate Madam Web again, like I said last Friday, 30 years later, right?
Yeah.
This will be like 30 some odd years later, because the Spider-Man in this is an adult Spider-Man. He's not a teenager. The main character is a teenager.
So he's not in college or anything like that.
No, he's straight up. It's like he's been Spider-Man for 10 years already, right? So like, yeah, 30 years later, this kid's walking around. Madam Web contacts him through the Great Web or whatever. Tells him, "Hey, Spider-Man's missing. His suit's in this alley. You know, I'm contacting you for whatever." You can change it up. You can write it to make it make sense. But that's how he gets the suit. And then you can have this movie where this kid's trying to find out like where Spider-Man is, and at the same time he's fighting off these villains or a villain.
It sounds like a good plan. I think if they were to do something like that, I feel like they would take part of that. They wouldn't take all of it though.
No, I don't think you would.
Yeah,
I don't think you would, because this story. I mean, you can include the Sinister Six, but the amount of characters in here, it's a lot for a movie.
That's a lot to ask for a movie. Yeah,
but I think there's some good stuff in here, and this has been out since like 2019, so this is not even like fresh and new. So if say someone at Sony had somehow gotten a hold of this a couple of years ago, like I can see how this could fit into a Sonyverse if they were to do it. And I mean, I know they're not going to do it. This isn't me going like, this is what's going to happen next. It's just,
in other words, you could take inspiration from this book.
Yeah.
A lot of inspiration, like most movies do, like James Gunn is doing with Supergirl or Superman Legacy. Take inspiration from the book and try to incorporate it into your movie. You know, and that's what they could possibly do. Will they do that? No. But you know,
but then you never know. They might incorporate some elements.
They don't know yet. They might at this point, because I have like I said last week, I have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't think they know what the hell they're doing at this point. So I don't know what the development of their plan is.
Yeah,
but they're gonna have to give us a Spider-Man eventually.
Yeah,
you just can't keep doing this.
And I think this would be a neat way to do it, because essentially, especially because they're doing that whole workaround with trying not to use Spider-Man, and I think it might have to do with their deal with Disney.
Yeah.
Because I know Disney's still trying to use them or whatever, so it might have something to do with that. Yeah. So if you're trying to find a workaround where you're not using Peter Parker Spider-Man, this would be an interesting way to do it. This would be an interesting story to tell. My main point was to just really tell you about the book, because I thought the story was interesting and fun enough, and I don't know. I want to try to do like manga reviews.
Okay.
So, but I'd recommend trying to read it if you get a chance. It's definitely a good story. And the first couple of chapters were kind of okay, and then at a certain point, it clicked. I think when he started fighting Screwball, it really clicked into how good the story was, because then it's like, okay, this kid's just struggling this whole time. It's that classic underdog story,
which people love,
and he's not even superpowered, so it's even more of an underdog. You know what I mean?
Love also,
yeah.
It's one of the reasons why Superman's been struggling so hard.
He's not an underdog.
He's not an underdog.
Yeah,
he's already on top.
He's got all the superpowers.
Yeah, he's got all the superpowers.
There was a time where they were just giving him a power for everything.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, then that's where they kind of went wrong with him. But
now you can tell the fans too that you can also read the book it's different from a usual graphic novel. Mm-hmm. You're reading it from back.
Yeah, you are. It's going the opposite way. Mm-hmm. So it takes some time to get used to, but honestly, it's not too much different. But
which I think is cool, by the way.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you want to get in the manga, but you're still from the comic book world, this is a good bridge. And if you like Spider-Man, it is a good Spider-Man story. And Spider-Man comes in at the end, so he's not gone the entire time. Like there are some good quippy Spider-Man lines and scenes in this movie, or in this book. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just thought it was neat because off the back of last Friday, I was like, oh, this would be a good adaptation for the Sony Spider-Verse. So I just wanted to include that. That wasn't the point of this segment. The point of the segment was to review this book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you. Like I say, it would be cool to see them do something like that. I don't see it happening, unfortunately. So this is like one of those things that we really have to going to have to wait and see.
And again, the book is called Spider-Man Fake Red. The story and art is by Yusuke Osawa. And this came out in 2019. And this is like the only story in the series. It doesn't continue after this. It's a one shot. You don't really have to continue like 15 different volumes or whatever. It's a one and done. In the back of the book, the author says he hopes to make another one someday. And to my knowledge, as of now, I don't know if he's been able to make another one. So
yeah, unfortunately.
but it's a good book. I'd recommend it. So,
Okay.
and that's it. That's my manga review segment.